Mike, I'm going to make the motion that it go back to be a majority vote of the council to extend the time.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bonioli and Mrs. O'Hara. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Bonioli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ogier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes.
If I may, Mr. President, I'm sorry, did you have any others?
No, I didn't.
Huh?
No.
Solicitor Iglesias, number 29. You have it? I do, I have it. Any person addressed in the town council should identify themselves by name, be recognized by the president, speak into microphone. Should that include identify themselves, a place of residence or place of business within the town of North Smithfield?
I think that's been a practice, so it's probably a good idea to identify themselves. I mean, not necessarily that they don't have to be a member of Smithfield.
Anybody could speak.
But just their residence or place of business, whatever the.
Can we amend that? Their address,
Name and address.
Name and address.
So there's a motion by Mrs. Zelinski to amend number 29, so list name and address. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bonioli and Mrs. O'Hara. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Bonioli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ogier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes. Anything else? Anyone else? So Mrs. Zelinski will now make a motion that we accept all of those amendments to the North Smithfield Town Council Rules of Order.
That's that motion.
And seconded by Mrs. O'Hara. Call vote?
Mrs. Bonioli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ogier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes. Thank you. Next item is discussion, vote, or other action on appointments by the town council. First item up, school committee, 1 2-year term that would expire on 12/1/2020.
I'd like to nominate, please. I'd like to nominate Fran Williams. I think she's done a wonderful job, and very committed, and I like her background. That never hurts. I think it'd be hard to go or get another person who work or will work as diligently as she does.
We have a nomination. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Zelinski. Any discussion? No discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Bonioli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ogier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
I will abstain. Motion carries. Mrs. Johannes is the appointed person from the town council to the school committee. The next item is the town solicitor, and I want to pair these two up, number 2 and number 3, the town solicitor and the assistant town solicitor, before we even make a recommendation or who we may want for an appointment. It would be my preference that we relook at these two positions and look at it as hiring a firm to represent the town in all legal aspects, all boards and commissions, prosecution, everything. Have more or less one-stop shopping with a firm that would represent us in planning, zoning, land use, contract negotiation, human resources, anything that comes our way. And it's not a reflection on who we have serving us now. I just think that it would be in the town's best interest to at least investigate looking at what a firm could provide us by putting them on retainer to cover all of our needs that we have, where they would have multiple people that would have disciplines that could come in. They may have a zoning expert, they may have a planning expert to come in and give us the advice that we need moving forward on different projects. So that's what I'd be looking to do. I mean, if I need to make a motion, I'll make the motion that we authorize the administrator and this board to investigate hiring a firm to represent us in all legal matters going forward, as opposed to appointing a single individual.
Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Well, my opinion on this is that if a municipality is to hire a firm to bill by the hour for litigation, I can tell you that it's been many a Saturday and Sunday where I pick up the phone, and hopefully I wanted to leave a voice message with Mr. Iglesias because I was respectful of his time. I cannot recall any one of those times when Mr. Iglesias did not pick up the phone and return my phone call within half an hour. And I watched the bills very diligently, and I must say that Mr. Iglesias as the solicitor and also Mr. Archambault and some zoning issues, because I guess you connected the two of them, have yet to bill the town extra for a phone call or research that they have done, one may consider off hours. So my concern is that if you hire a firm, they're looking to bill by the hour, and I have not found that to be the case in the current town solicitor and the current town assistant solicitor. So I can't support the idea of hiring a legal firm for another reason as well. We have continuity with both these esquires, these attorneys. I'm very comfortable for the years that I've been working with them. I'm not looking favorably at hiring the law firm. I'm just very comfortable knowing that these two gentlemen represent the town and on the boards and commissions and represent town council as well as the town administrator. So I don't know, Mr. Vadenais.
It's not a job performance issue in my
No,
mind,
it's not.
and it shouldn't be, because if it's a job performance issue, then we need to notify the solicitor and give him the opportunity to have a closed session, same with the assistant solicitor. That's why I'm not bringing it up at what they're doing. I'm just looking at this from the global picture of what would be best for the town and how the town could best be served by having a firm. And you can get a firm and put them on retainer. You can have a firm that will give you all of the services you need and put them on retainer. Some years they might make out, some years they may not. Right now, even though I know we haven't been billed in the past for some things, this contract does allow for that. There's a lot of things that are not in the retainer that we currently have that we should have by legal counsel. So either we need to review what we would expect of the solicitor before we appoint a solicitor, or we need to go back and look at a different plan of attack.
Mr. President, I feel the same way that Mr. Lewinsky feels. Going forward, maybe in the future, this would be wonderful. You have 2 years to study it. Until now, I'd like to vote on it.
Any other discussion? Entertain a motion for the town solicitor.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we reappoint Mr. David Iglesias as our town solicitor.
And I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Under discussion, then I would suggest that this engagement letter that we have be completely redone, because there are issues in here that I think that this town needs to have, that we need to have a solicitor cover these things. And right now, they are not under the retainer. They may be getting done, but they're not in writing. Actual legal service time, personnel matters and union contract issues, those are important issues. Those are important issues that we should have our attorney and retainer. Meetings with town officials, writing and reviewing of contracts and agreements, writing resolutions and ordinances. Those are things that the solicitor should be doing under this retainer, in my opinion. And right now, under what we have currently, they're not covered under the retainer.
You make a valid point, but I can testify here that Mr. Iglesias.
It's not about Mr. Iglesias. It's not about his job
That's my
performance.
nomination, Mr. President. Mr. Iglesias is my nomination for the solicitor for the town of North Smithfield. So it does apply to him, and I have nothing but respect for the way Mr. Iglesias has represented our town. And I will, when you call the vote, Mr. President, I will vote in support of Mr. Iglesias.
And I vote.
You are looking to rewrite this agreement?
I think we need to, there are two issues. One, I think we need to get those coverages in under the retainer. And number two, I don't even know if we can have an agreement with the solicitor by child. solicitor is an at-will employee. Am I correct?
No, we lost the legal case, which, I'm sorry.
The charter provides that you have a choice to either appoint a solicitor for a term coterminous with yourself or until a newly appointed successor is done. That's what the charter provides.
But is it an at-will employee?
It's a term. It's either a term that's coterminous with you or until a duly appointed successor. That's what the charter says. That's the only thing the charter speaks to.
Yeah.
It's the only thing the charter speaks to.
Are we ready to vote?
Well, I'd like to know what you want to do with this agreement. I think we need to change this agreement if that's where you want to go, if you don't want to look at a firm.
Mr. President, I would recommend one change, that is to, because I think it would better represent what we're actually doing, and that is to move the writing and reviewing of contracts or agreements and review as the form from the services not within the retainer to those that are subject to the retainer. That is actually what has been happening over the 2 years that I have been here. And that is a change I would recommend to the council to, not to change anything, but to actually represent what we have.
Well, that's my point, these things that they need to be happening on the retainer, not above and beyond the retainer. Even though they may not have been being charged, then we should state that. If that's what the case is, then move them out of the retainer, move into the retainer, not within the retainer.
I think with that change, it does represent what has been happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr. President. Mr. Gallarzi, with that engagement agreement be fine with you if we would move that over to?
Yes, I spoke with the town administrator this afternoon. He indicated if you look at the services not within retained, the second from the bottom,
Yes.
it's writing and reviewing of contracts or agreements, and he added also the language
Review as the form.
review as a form. He asked that that be moved over to contain within it, because that's what I had been doing. In fact, I don't want to belabor this point, because it was also from the former solicitor's mind. There were things that I had been doing that the last time that was done. So this is the second time that I moved things over from a stipend, a non-stipend matter to a stipend matter.
So who handles personnel matters and union contract issues?
We have, personnel, we work together on personnel matters. In fact, most recently, we handled a matter down at the Rhode Island Labor Board, which if, again, I don't want to say this, but if you're going out, we had actually spoken with somebody who normally does that would probably save the town, I don't know, $3,000 to $5,000 by doing it without charging for it.
That was the circumstance where in the contract negotiations with Council 94, the finance director and I recognized the need to remove the assistant tax assessor from inclusion in Council 94. If you've had any kind of a level of activity with union negotiating, eliminating members is not something that they're fond of. But together, we were able to have that happen with no additional legal expense.
In addition to that, the town administrator negotiated several contracts with labor unions. Then after, when he reached the point that they needed to be reviewed, he sent them over, we reviewed them, confirmed that they were proper form. That's why I think he asked them to be reviewed and confirmed they were proper form. Again, there was no need to go into any arbitration this time. There was no impasse that I'm aware of.
We did have two occasions where we did get into, we had a police-based arbitration, where frankly I think the current arrangement that we have allowed us to be able to access at reasonable cost a resource that is regarded by most, I think, well, by many and if not most, as the state's leading resource in that endeavor, which I have to tell you, I would not like to leave. That arrangement has served us well. We actually have an ongoing case that goes back before my administration that is being managed by that attorney and in a very effective way to this point, as best I can tell.
So you feel that actual legal service time should be above and beyond the retainer? I'm asking you, as the administrator, because you deal with them on a daily basis, most people.
Well, I think the actions that we've taken in the budget perhaps reflect the concern in that we've actually reduced the budget for litigation over the past 2 years. So, Mr. President, I can't tell you that there's an absolute one way or the other. I think we have been successful in managing costs and outcomes as best we could. We didn't lose the arbitration on the police side, as much as I'm satisfied with the counsel that we received. It is a process. I have no regrets. I would do it again
No, I understand.
today. But in the overall, I think we are receiving good counsel and managing costs.
Mr. President, for me, if I don't know if we're going to need to have continuance of legal service here. Tonight we're going to.
Well, we do by charter. He continues to serve until reappointed or another is appointed. That was one change that was made in the charter. That did make sense, because at one time, you got to the 1st of December, and you had no legal.
What I was attempting to ask or propose, that if we could approve of Mr. Aker, I'm going to vote to approve of his services, because I know that these points that are written on services not within the retainer have, in the past, there's no guarantee in the future, but Mr. Iglesias has always honored those. And just to my fellow council members who may be a little undecided, would it be possible to appoint Mr. Iglesias and contingent on the services not within the retainer being removed and putting into services in the retainer? And Mr. Iglesias is nodding in the affirmative, saying that he's comfortable doing that. So at some point, Mr. President, if we can do this, I think it should allay people's fears, and I would ask that you call the vote.
Madam Clerk, we have a motion to appoint David Iglesias as the town solicitor. Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Oshia?
Yes.
Mr. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes. Just as an aside, I did have a conversation with the solicitor, and I had no issues with his performance, with the job that he's done. I've worked with him on a couple of boards in the past, and it was not an issue of David's performance. It was an issue of where I feel would be best served by the town, was looking at a firm. I thought we should have at least investigated that before making a decision, but David will be.
Mr. President, could I just make a quick brief comment? I didn't want to make a comment before the vote. One, most importantly, I want to thank you for the demonstration of your confidence in me. And if ever a point in time that that's not the case, I'd be more than willing to revisit the issue. Two, with regard to anything on this sheet, you feel it should be within the stipend section. I've done it already several times, and I just point out one. I must have handled more than 8 to 10 open meetings violation claims, as well as some other ones, and they were never ever charged. I know some of the council people are party to that, but we had some very contested open records and open meetings, and the town administrator, I just want to give him a nod, a very compliment. We've had this discussion, and I'll leave with this. He's actually organized in open meetings and in open records seminar with the Attorney General and I believe the Ethics Commission, so that everybody's going to get a refresher course on this, and I just think it'll be good. So I just wanted to pointed out, I thank you, and we can look at this, and if you want, or whatever you want, it should go on there, I'm happy to abide by your decision.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you.
Next item is appointment of assistant town solicitor. Entertain any motions or nominations?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we continue the services of Attorney Stephen Archibald in the position of Assistant Town Solicitor.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Oshia?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes. Next item is appointment to the probate court judge, and you should have a letter in your packets from Robert Rossi indicating his interest in continuing in his position as probate court judge. Is there a motion?
Mr. President, unless anybody else wishes, somebody else can make a motion.
You love to hear you talk about
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint probate court judge Robert Rossi.
that. Second motion.
We have a motion and a second by Mrs. O'Hara. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Oshia?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadenais?
Yes. Next item is municipal court judge, and we do have a letter and a whole packet of information from Aaron Jarrett in his request for reappointment to the municipal court judge.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Aaron P. Jarrett Jr. To the position of